Conor McGregor is the most famous fighter in the world, and he has lambasted the Prime Minister of Ireland for saying a hostage, an Irish hostage, was found. No, she wasn't. She was bargained for and released by her vicious captors. Way to go, Conor. A few minutes ago, we talked about McGregor, the former UFC champion and the biggest name in the fight world now. Let me tell you something else he did that I have a lot of respect for him. This is him not in the ring. This is him dressed up, but you can notice the cauliflower ears. That's typical of the UFC fighters, you know. He is furious at Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar. Let me show you who that is. I'd never seen him before. That's the Prime Minister of Ireland. Here's why Colin's so mad at him. One of the kidnapped victims in Israel was a little girl. There were a number of little girls, but this one is Irish Israeli. That this little girl that was lost and has now been found is home. She was lost, wandered away, and they found her up the street. And now she's home and he's happy. This is what McGregor said about the idiotic speech by the Prime Minister. What is it with you and your government and your paid for media affiliates constantly downplaying and attempting to repress horrific acts that happen to children? You are a disgrace. And specifically, he mentioned where the Prime Minister said, an innocent child who was lost has now been found and returned, and we breathe a massive sigh of relief. Our prayers were answered. Even X corrected him. And X wrote, quote, Emily Hand was kidnapped by Hamas terrorists on October the 7th. The use of the term lost is inappropriate and fails to highlight that she was released as part of a hostage deal. This is her release, and then let me tell you something about it.
As far as I know so far, I mean, Emily's not talking yet, so I don't know any of the details. But they didn't hit her. Yeah.
That's her father saying that he doesn't think she was hit, but he doesn't know for sure because she hasn't started to talk yet. She hasn't uttered a word in over a week since she was let out of the cage underground that she was kept in.
Barry, that means something horrible happened.
Very well could be.
There's something horrible. She saw something or something happened to her that get her to shut down like that. And she probably nightmares, waking up wondering, is it possible to happen again? Because she was, doing nothing, just being a kid, and they apprehend her, kidnap her, right? This is disgusting, Barry.
100%.
This is disgusting.
100%. And it takes a UFC fighter to stand up and say what you guys are saying is nuts. She was not lost.
Right.
Like, you left your keys at Walmart.
And lost my puppy.
Yeah. They broke in, killed everybody around her, took her out of her home in her pajamas, and kept her for 6 or 7 weeks underground in a hole. She wasn't.
And there's no telling. And she's not talking.
She wasn't found. She was traded for 3 adult convicted terrorists because Israel wanted her back that badly.
So I'm wondering what the medical examiner said.
A lot of the medical exams have not been made public out of respect for the families, because I can imagine her going through her whole life having people say, oh, I read about you 15 years ago, blah, 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 blah happened to you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then just here recently, you've heard about it as well. We're hearing all these stories how Hamas was using rape, and they're still using rape as a tactic, as a weapon, not just against girls, but against boys.
It's
They're
true.
using it against, yeah. And that goes against the Geneva Convention. It goes against the rules of war. But we're talking about monsters, animals that don't adhere to the rules. They don't care. They
One of the
absolutely don't care.
one of the doctors that examined post-mortem a girl that was at the festival, they said that she was raped between 5 and 8 times, so brutally her pelvis was broken. Then they shot her in the breasts and shot her between the eyes. There was also a bullet hole in her vagina. That's how they treated these women. These monsters need to stand trial. And in my opinion, Israel needs to capture whoever they can, and they ought to institute the death penalty for the second time in their nation's history, because putting these guys in prison is a holiday for them. 3 meals a day, they get to pray, they get medical care, brain surgery if they need it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's a vacation for these people. These are the most, and I mean this literally, aggressive barbarians the world has seen since World War II.
And this is the reason why, part of the reason why Israel cannot stop.
Mm-hmm.
Barry, if they, you know what? And there shouldn't be any more ceasefires. There should not be another single ceasefire. That last one should have never happened. So there most definitely should not be any more. They need to go find the hostages, not wait on Hamas to release them. And
They're
come to find
looking.
out,
The special
yeah,
forces are looking, but
but come to find out, Hamas is like, well, we don't know where all the hostages are, because some of the other militant groups that exist in the area, they have hostages as well. So they have to go to them and negotiate with them to get hostages and then take them to. I mean, this is a mess. This is a mess, and it all could have been. Personally, I think it could have been prevented had Joe Biden never funded Iran in the first place to start this war.
I think there's a lot of truth to that. I really do, because it emboldened them not only to make lots and lots of weapons, but they realized the United States isn't going to do anything about any of their terror exportation.
No, they don't care.